Hello, Internet people. It's new gun day. So we got a box here, 2021 production, 1958. That's what the number on the box says anyway, 2021, 1958. And what's in the box? What is in the box is a trigger lock that I put on there before I left the store. So we can take that off. It's not necessary to transport them from the store with a trigger lock, but I do. And there's some paperwork from the RCMP. And there is a Type 81 SA manual, which we will take a look at. And there is a little plastic bottle, oil bottle. I suppose you could put other stuff in it. And there's some kind of weird wax paper here with a magazine in it. And another magazine in a big plastic bag. Not sure what end to open it from. This end, I guess. Get my fancy product opening knife here. And take this Type 81 rifle out of the bag, which we can put on the floor. And that's it for the box. So don't need the box on the floor. And what do we got? We've got a Type 81 rifle. So, a lot of you are thinking, that looks like an AK, one of those bad guy rifles that everybody in Russia has, and every terrorist in every movie and every bad guy in every gang on every TV show has ever had. But it's not an AK. It looks like one. But if it were an AK, this trigger release would be way back here by the trigger guard, and the receiver would be about that much shorter. So this is a Type 81 rifle, which is a little bit different. This is what happens if an AK and an SKS had a child together, and it had SKS DNA, but it had the AK looks. So it's got a few things going on. Also has these kind of annoying screws sticking out the side, which you can attach an optics plate to. I have not got the optics plate. That may or may not be in the future. So let's go from one end over to the other. What do we got here? We've got some kind of trapdoor in the buttstock, and in the buttstock we got a cleaning kit. I guess the end comes off, and we've got what appears to be a push pin. We've got, not sure what that is, part of the cleaning rod, I suspect. Yeah, so that's part of the cleaning rod, which screws onto there. I think maybe that's, well, I'm not sure what that's for, but we'll look into it. And what else have we got? Now that we get that unscrewed, we got a cleaning brush with like plastic bristles on it. And I'm assuming that you use the cleaning rod with this, and not having seen this before, I'm guessing that this will go in here like this, and I don't know. We'll look in the manual and see how that works. So that's all the cleaning stuff that comes with it. And we got some kind of an attachment out here for launching rifle grenades, which we've got no use for. So I'm not sure why they put it on for a civilian only gun. Probably to mimic the look of the military one. Some guys take that off. I don't know if I will or not. It would definitely lighten up the gun. There's no real provision here for grenade launching sights, so that's good. You don't have extra stuff. You got a sling thing here and a sling thing here, which I don't know. They're not super good quality, but they're on there. On the front end, we've got an adjustable gas system, and it looks like you adjust it with a cartridge, which I don't have here, but it's got a 1 for shooting, 0 presumably to launch those rifle grenades, and a 2, which I'm assuming is the adverse setting for if your gun's full of dirt or all carved up, or you're shooting in the snow or something. It's got kind of a weird rear sight on it here, which I'm assuming that you adjust it with these, and one side pops out so that you can remove the top of the handguard here. So right now it's set on 500, and that's as far as it goes. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and I'm not sure if it adjusts down any further, so I'm guessing that you read the number that is closest to you, and so it's kind of on a 45-degree angle here, and you don't read the number that's directly up and down. So they say that this has a flat spot on it, if I could find it, where you can pull out the dial on this side, which allows you to lift the handguard off. And I'm not sure what number it's supposed to be on to do that, but it isn't 4. Anyway, we'll get to that in a moment. Very SKS-like bolt, which is kind of stiff at the moment. But then you would expect that. It's quite possible that the firing spring on this is locked into position, so if we take it off safe, put it on fire, no, it's not going to dry fire, but lo and behold, when it's on pointing at the F, you can bring the bolt back, and now you should be able to dry fire it. Got a dust cover on it, kind of a 180-degree safety, kind of a red furniture pistol grip on it here, red furniture stock, fore-end, paddle magazine release. Let's check out and see how that magazine goes in there. They said that these rock and lock, so you kind of put it in. There you go, works pretty good. And then you push forward and it comes out. So that all works. It's got a big button here that you push in to remove the top cover. Very much like an SKS or an AK. And this is pretty thin sheet metal. And then it's got its spring here, return spring for the bolt, which again is kind of a cross between the AK and the SKS. It telescopes like so, and the squiggly end goes in the bolt carrier, same as the SKS. And then we bring the bolt carrier back. We can take the bolt out, and this bolt carrier is basically an SKS bolt carrier. And the bolt itself is pretty much an AK bolt. Nothing fancy there. But yeah, this is basically an SKS bolt, which is why this is legal in Canada, because SKSs are legal in Canada. When I look inside, it's dark. And when I look at the bolt slides in the front of the gun and then twists, and it's got locking lugs on it, so that's more AK-like. The SKS locks up a little bit different. And the springs and things on the inside are, again, kind of a combination of the two. And this is a semi-automatic, same as the SKS, depress the trigger once, 1 round fires. And magazines in Canada are limited to 5 rounds. I'm not sure where the pin is in it, but well, they're pinned in some fashion. Oh, there's the pin right there. You probably can't see it on camera, but there's a pin in the magazine. And I don't know if you can see it on camera, but when I bring the camera in, you'll be able to see it. There's a little piece of metal jutting out from the receiver here, and that's the ejector, so that when the bolt comes back and the brass is extracted from the chamber, it hits this little metal shelf here and kicks it out the side. So that's kind of neat. Take that magazine out again, and then we'll try to learn how this this fore end comes off. So like the SKS, this is a short stroke gas piston. If this were an AK, this bolt would have a big long piston hanging off of it, but it does not. There's another piston in here and another springy thing in here on a guide rod. 4, 3, 2. Look at that. When all else fails, look at the instructions. So this is kind of more AK-like than SKS-like. The SKS would have a tube running through here. This is more AK-like, but instead of having the big long rod attached to the bolt carrier. It's kind of got two rods and this rod up front. When the gas block pulls gas off of the barrel, the gas comes up here and pushes this back, and you see that there's a pin here that comes out. This rod strikes that bolt and drives the bolt backwards. This spring here brings the bolt carrier forward, picks up another cartridge, and then you're good to fire it again. Look at that. Let's see if there's any fancy way to remove this rod here. Oh, look at that. Comes right out. So there's the return spring for that forward piston, and there's the piston. It's got a little thing on the end, and the gas comes up one of these ports. This would be your adverse port, and this would be your regular port, and the cutoff somewhere in the middle. So the gas would come up from the gas block, go through that, would hit this, driving it rearward to operate the gun. So that is all of the various parts that you can take off of this gun. So I'm going to bring the camera in and just kind of show you the parts real quick. So the first thing we'll do is we'll take our cleaning kit here, and we will put this little pin thing back in, and then this little rod extension thing, and then this cleaning tip, and there's a little detent right here. You can see that the end of the clean kit is cut out. So you line that up and give it a twist. It might actually be, there we go, that's easier. Give that a twist. Oh, forgot to put the brush in, look at that. That's why it's important to do these things on a table. Let's just put them all in this. This may be the wiser course of action. Put all your tools in that cap, and then slide this thing over top of it, line up this dimple, and then give it a twist, and there's your cleaning kit. The cleaning kit goes in the buttstock. Goes right in here. And you gotta watch so you don't get your finger caught in there. So the next thing we will do is we will take our cleaning rod and we will deposit that in the cleaning rod hole, and then slide it back until it's snug inside this bayonet lug thing. Don't know what the bayonet for these looks like. So the next thing that we will do is we will take our springy thingy and we will put it on our operating rod, and then somewhere in here is an operating rod hole, and then we will take our gas plug and then we will rotate that back to 0 like so. That seems to be working good. So the next thing we've got to do is we've got to put our top cover thing back on, and that is going to go in there like that. It's got a little tiny detent there. Which is going to fit in there nicely, and then we pull this out, and we'll rotate the sight back down. And now that top cover's on there. We'll take our little tool here. We'll set the gas block back to number 1. So far it goes together pretty quick and easy. Not bad for first time, I guess. So now we're going to put our bolt in here. And we got to make sure that we line up this lug with the track that it operates in. So we'll put that back in here. And if we do things properly, it should sit on those rails and it'll go home like that. And unlike the SKS where the spring is separate, this is all one piece, which is easier. So you remember to put the squiggly end in the bolt and move this forward. Oh, it doesn't want to go down that far. There we go. So now, there we go. And the last thing we want to do is we're going to put on this top cover. And to do that, we're going to press in this button. I have to wonder, you can't just cheat. Do it like that. Yes, you can. So, it's got a hole in the back of it here that you could use your disassembly tool and push in there if it had a tip on it, but that one doesn't. But anyway, well, there is the rifle all together. And just for giggles, we'll put the magazine in it. And the magazine does have the last round hold open. Well, it's supposed to anyway. Put it in right. There we go. So the last round hold open works on that magazine. And it now works on that magazine. So there you have it. Bolt hold open works on the Type 81 magazines. It is unclear to me that there's any bolt hold open device on any other kind of magazines, and it isn't clear to me that this rifle will accept other kinds of magazines. So before buying magazines for the Type 81, I recommend you do some research. But since the Type 81 mags at the time of this video are $30 a piece, at the lowest seller that I have found them, I would just get Type 81 mags. So I know what you're thinking. How can you have a firearm like this in Canada? Well, due to some particularities of Canadian firearms law. This is visually an AK, but it is internally more like an SKS. The SKS in Canada is considered non-restricted for now. The government doesn't have a problem with people having firearms. It has a problem with poor people having firearms, and it has a problem with native people having firearms. So when particular firearms become popular with poor people or with natives, they tend to be prohibited outright. And that's the nature of the way that it works here in Canada. So it's only a matter of time, I guess, before stuff like this is prohibited outright, even though it's based on the SKS, which at this point is a 75-year-old rifle design. These were originally designed in the early 80s. 1979, the Chinese went to war with Vietnam, and they were still using SKSs, and of course the Vietnamese had been fighting wars since before World War II, and had all kinds of other things. So the Chinese decided, we need a new rifle. So they designed this from the ground up using existing tooling and existing blueprints that they had from the SKS and from the AK family of rifles, and this is what they came up with. And again, the easiest way to tell one of these from a standard AK is there's a little bit more room here in the receiver, and this paddle to remove the magazine is quite a bit further forward, whereas on an AK it'd be right next to the trigger guard right here. So the only thing left to do with this is to take it out to the range and see what it does with these 7.62 by 39 cartridges. The way that these are scored for accuracy, they say that you should be able to get half of your shots in a 1.78 inch circle at 100 yards. So I don't know if I can do that, and I don't know if these civilian rifles can do that, but we're going to go to the range and we're going to go find out. So there we have the first part of at least 2 videos on the Type 81 rifle. I'm going to break this up and I'll do the range section another day. My videos tend to run kind of long because I'm long-winded. And it's almost hunting season, so a lot of guys are using the range to sight in. There's only a couple days left before hunting season, so you can only book like half-hour slots. So I'm going to go out there another day once the crowd kind of dies down a bit, and I'll do the range section on this. I modified it slightly to make it a little bit friendlier to me. It's a good left-handed rifle. So I put a sling on it from a VZ58. It was kind of tight getting the leather part through the sling here and the sling ring in the back, but I was able to get it through there. And then because it's an optics ready rifle, there's 2 threaded pins that stick out, and that looks to me like a great way to cut yourself or cut your gear, or if you're slinging this rifle on your back, it'll dig into your back. So I took a couple of thin pieces of leather and I soaked them in gun oil and made a couple of washers out of them, and then I put a couple of stainless steel screws on here for now. So eventually I'll put the optics plate on there. I might even get an optic, not sure. I really quite like this adjustable VZ58 sling. A little bit better actually than like the green SKS and slings and the ones that you normally see on these. So yeah, that's what I've done, and we'll take it out to the range there as soon as I'm able. It's a busy time of year, and you'll see that in part 2. Maybe we'll put an optic on it and do a part 3, and just all depends how things go. So thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, hit the like button. Always helps out. Drop a comment down in the comment section if you like doing that. I always like reading what you guys have to say. And if you like the channel, feel free to subscribe. Been a bit of channel growth lately. We're pushing in on a big milestone there. I've really only been using the channel for a couple of years now. I've had it for like almost 13 years. But I really only started doing anything with it in the last 2 or 3. So it's been fun to grow along with you guys. So if you like the channel, feel free to subscribe, and if you don't like the channel, share it with your enemies, and I will punish them for free.